Starting in mountain pose, with our feet planted into the floor, eyes looking forward, palms forward, arms down by our side, we'll start to inhale and exhale, breathing in, breathing out, preparing ourselves for our yoga practice. Relaxing our shoulders down and enjoying the positive energy we're breathing into our bodies. And now let's inhale the arms up overhead and then back down into a chest expansion, interlacing those fingers, bringing the arms behind us, allowing the chest to open up, and just enjoying not being in forward flexion. We'll stay here for a little longer and breathe. On an inhale, we're reaching both arms back up into the sky and exhaling down to heart center. We're going to inhale those arms back up to the sky, finding lateral flexion. Bringing the right arm down to your hip, keep the left arm extended to the ceiling, and you can look at those fingertips if you like. This is comfortable on your neck. And now let's switch sides. Inhaling, expanding, and creating space. And now returning back to chest expansion, bringing the arms behind us, exhaling and feeling that release in the chest. And now sitting back into easy chair pose, sweeping the arms forward, keeping the thumbs up, hips back. And exhaling down into forward fold, reaching the fingertips towards your mat. Keeping a micro bend in the knees and allowing the head and neck to relax down. Staying right here if you like, or sweeping those arms behind us, interlacing the fingers for another chest expansion. Breathing into your hamstrings and noticing how they feel. Let's release the hands down, finding down dog position. And now let's start by bicycling those heels towards the floor, alternating one heel and then the other, and using our breath, taking our time. And when you're ready, you can press both heels down towards the floor, relaxing into your down dog. Hips are lifted and ribs are pushing downward. Fingers are spread as wide as possible, and we're stretching out the entire back of the body. And when you're ready, let's bring those knees down and find our child pose. Hips back. Let's press into those hands, coming back up. Finding kneeling chest expansion, sweeping those arms behind us, interlacing the fingers, and shining our hearts forward. And now let's release the hands down to the floor, finding cat-cow. We want our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. And then when you're ready, we'll begin in cat. So we're going to round the spine, crown of the head points down to the mat. And then you're going to Inhale and shine your heart forward. Exhale and round. And now let's inhale, shining the heart forward and lifting our tailbones. And let's do a few more of these on our own at our own perfect pace. Finding our final cat or cow here, and then into neutral spine to go into spinal balance. Taking one arm forward and the opposite leg back, our thumb is up and our toe is pointed to the mat. Holding and breathing here. Releasing down and switching sides, bringing that arm forward and bringing that leg back. Holding. And we'll begin to flow now at our own perfect pace, alternating sides, breathing and moving at a pace that is comfortable for us today. And finding our final spinal balance, we're going to bring our fingertips to the top of the mat, working into modified plank. Find a comfortable position for your knees, and we're going to shift forward into our modified plank. Breathing. And now taking this into modified crocodile, lowering down towards our mat, pushing into our hands to come back up. And now let's do a few more of these on our own. Inhaling to come down and exhaling to come back up. Finishing our final crocodile here, we're going to push into the hands to come back up onto our knees for another kneeling chest expansion. Bringing those hands behind us, interlacing the fingers, opening up our chests. Releasing our hands, inhaling overhead, exhaling hands down to the mat, moving into our down dog. Pressing the heels into the mat. From here, we're going to find our modified side plank. So you're going to kickstand that knee down and out to the side, placing your hand under your shoulder. Your top arm is going to raise above towards the ceiling, and you're going to lift your long leg. If you like, you can glance at your fingertips. Opening up the chest and breathing into your modified side plank and switching to the other side, setting up, picking up that top leg, opening up that chest, arm reaching up toward the ceiling. And now let's release back into downward facing dog. Focusing our awareness back into the hamstrings. Stepping our right foot forward, Turning our left foot flat, finding a modified pyramid pose. Finding a micro bend in our knee, relaxing the head down, bringing our chest closer to our thigh. Taking our hand to just below our knee, or if you like to take this pose a little deeper, you can interlace the fingers, bringing them behind you into another chest expansion. Noticing how good this pose feels. The more you do it, the more you'll open up. And now let's release the hands down, bringing them to our thigh, glancing up, and finding a slight back bend, sweeping the arms up. Our gaze is up and towards the ceiling. Engaging our good posture muscles. And now let's bring the hands down to the mat, bending our knee and stepping that foot back to down dog. And now let's find our plank position or modified plank, and coming down to crocodile or modified crocodile. We're going to flip onto the tops of our feet, lifting our chest into up dog, holding arms close by our sides, feeling the stretch, flipping our toes, and coming back into our down dog. And now stepping our left leg forward and finding our modified pyramid pose on the other side. Hands can be on the mat or just below the knee. And also, if you like, you can bring those arms around and behind you for a chest expansion. You want to breathe into any parts of the body that are feeling tightness or tension, allowing the body to open up and expand. And releasing our hands down, we can place them on our thigh. Inhaling arms up to find our gentle back bend. Our gaze is up and towards the ceiling. Our arms are on either side of our ears. Exhaling the arms down and stepping back into downward dog. And now let's step either foot forward. Inhale, bending the knees, bringing the arms up overhead, exhaling down to a T. Let's turn our right toes out and our left toes in, preparing for triangle position. Shifting forward, bringing that hand to just below the knee. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Our eyes can look at our fingertips if that's comfortable. A nice expansive pose, expanding our body, expanding our breath. Let's come back up, switching sides. Back toes point forward. Grounding ourselves, aligning ourselves, and softening into the pose, keeping that micro bend in the knees. You'll feel this in your hamstrings. Good. Turning our toes forward, we're going to bring it to a standing chest expansion, sweeping those arms behind us, interlacing those fingers, exhaling into the pose. Let's get a gentle bend in the knees, and now hinge at the waist, bringing our head closer to the mat, arms overhead. And by now we should be ready for a back bend, so let's release the hands to the lower back. Gently coming up with a bend in the knees, all the way up. You can turn those hands into fists, place them into your lower back, and now eyes glance up at the ceiling. And now let's release out, come down to the floor in a seated position. Extending the legs out, gentle bend in the knees if you have tight hamstrings. Tall, long posture, inhale, arms overhead, hinge at the waist, and reach for your feet. Reach for your ankles, reach for your shins, wherever you can reach today. This is a great stretch for the low back. From our seated forward fold, we're going to come into tabletop position, sitting up nice and tall, placing our fists into the mat, bending our knees, placing our flat feet on the mat. We're going to push into the hips, raising them up towards the ceiling, and holding our tabletop. And let's release down to the mat. We're going to find boat position or modified boat to start. So you can take your hands behind your knees, take one foot up and then the other. You can hold right here if this is comfortable, or extend those legs long and have your arms on the sides, breathing in and holding your boat pose. And releasing into butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together in front of us, placing our hands on our ankles, tall, long posture, exhaling, hinging at the waist, bringing ourselves closer to our feet, and if you like, gently pushing with your elbows down on your legs to deepen the pose. Just don't force the pose. And bringing the knees together, extending one leg out for a seated spinal twist. Long, tall posture. We're going to wrap the opposite arm around that bent knee, hugging that knee into our chest. We can hold it with both arms or place one hand behind us and exhaling into this seated spinal twist. Good, let's release now and switch sides. Extending that other leg, bending that knee, opposite arm around that knee, hugging it into the chest. Eyes glancing wherever you're comfortable. And doing some work on the midsection here. Let's bend the knees, feet flat. Taking behind the knees, we're going to do ab work. So leaning back, holding, and exhaling to come up. Inhaling, leaning back. You can hold on to behind your knees. Exhale to come back up. Seeing if you can go deeper into this pose as you strengthen your core, while using your breath with slow, controlled, gentle movement up and back. Continue to do this a few more times at your own comfortable pace, breathing and moving and being aware of your body and how it feels. And let's move back into boat pose or modified boat pose. And exhaling the legs down to find inclined plank or tabletop if that's comfortable for you. And let's release all the way down to the floor. We're going to bring our knees to our chest. We're going to hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side if you like, releasing out the back, preparing for happy baby. And we can pull the knees down to the floor on either side of the body. You can take your 2 fingers and put them around your big toe, or if you like to hold on to that whole foot with your hands, you can do that as well. Just release into this pose, feeling the top of the thighs stretching. Moving into bridge pose from here, soles of the feet to the floor, lifting the hips up with that inhale and holding here. And you can take in a few deep breaths if you like. You want to keep the ankles under the knees, arms long by your side. Taking a nice big inhale and exhale. And let's bring the hips down. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest. We're going to extend the left leg. Coming into a lying spinal twist, we're going to bring that right knee over. You can hold on to that right knee with your left hand. You can extend the right arm out. You can look towards your fingertips if you like, turning the neck. Seeing how this feels on the body. Feeling the body, make some adjustments. We're going to come into a quadricep stretch. So that long extended leg is going to come up. You're going to take it with your hand. Seeing how this feels on the body. If you like to move your head, you can. Maybe looking up at the ceiling now. Keeping the shoulder blades down on the floor. And now releasing out, getting ready to switch sides. Bringing the other knee in, extending your right leg out. Turning gently to the side. You can guide that with your hand if you like. Extending that arm, looking away from the knee. You can bring that leg behind you, the extended leg, holding onto your foot for that quad stretch. Shoulder blades down. And now let's bring both knees back into the chest, hugging in. Releasing out, preparing for upside down pigeon. Let's take either leg across the top of the other thigh. We're going to bring one knee in and push the other away. Holding our foot with our hand. Looking for a maximum sensation without forcing or pushing your body. Just breathe into the pose with the breath. And switching sides, just noticing which side of the body is feeling tighter today. Focusing your breath, directing your awareness to any part of the body that might need a little extra attention today. And now extending that left leg up towards the ceiling. If you like, with your fingers taking that big toe and holding on. If you're really tight today, you can take just behind the knee and hold that leg up. Extending the right leg out if that's comfortable. You can also stay bent. Coming into reclining half locust position, bringing that foot down onto the opposite thigh. Knee extends away, bringing that arm up overhead. Hip flexors, psoas, all feeling the stretch. Bring that knee back in, and now extending the right leg up, holding onto that big toe if you like, or grabbing behind that knee, behind the quadricep, behind the thigh. Extending the left leg long if you like. Giving your body time to open. And now let's move into reclining half lotus. Drawing the arm over the head. Filling the body with positive energy. And now let's move into reclining butterfly position. Letting the knees drop open and the soles of the feet together, placing our hands on our midsection. Let's interlace the hands behind the head. We're going to draw the knees up, place the feet flat, bringing knee to opposite elbow for bent knee bicycle. Inhaling to come up and exhaling to come down. Once again, working at our own perfect pace. Let's find one more bridge pose. Bringing the hips down, and now we're extending the legs to the sky for legs up the wall pose. If you like, you can take behind the thighs, or you can place your hands long by your sides, palms on the floor. Let's keep the neck in a neutral position here without looking around. Core muscles are strong, energy moving in a different direction here. You can do this pose every day for balance, for energy. And now let's bring the knees down and into the chest. And if you like, gently rocking side to side, stabilizing the back. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, moving into a modification of fish pose, moving the hands underneath our glutes, pressing into the elbows, lifting the chest up to the ceiling, shining that heart forward. Relaxing back down, knees come into the chest one more time. Give yourself a big hug for taking the time to balance your body, to build flexibility, strength, and focus. Now let's take some time to rest. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Arms along by your sides with your palms up. If you like, extend your legs out long, preparing for our final relaxation. Focus on your breath. You can close your eyes. Nice deep inhale, slow long exhale. Now starting to bring awareness to your body, we'll begin with circling the wrists, moving the feet, slowly starting to wake up, getting ready to come on up, bending those knees, placing the feet down, turning to one side, finding that comfortable seated position. You can place your hands on your knees, closing the eyes. Take in a breath or two. And let's inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms back down. One more time, inhale up, bringing hands together at the top and then down to heart center. Namaste.